Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Aquarius. And if that is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. You'll have to forgive me. I'm a little out of breath. I had to get some of my rowing minutes in between readings. So here I am. All right, so our card tonight is the Six of Wands, which has everything to do with victory. And we'll see. What are you winning? What are you winning over? You can tell I'm of a certain age because every time I say winning, in my head, a little thing goes off. I'm thinking of that old, the meme. What was his name? Oh my gosh. I can't think of his name. I keep thinking Charlie Murphy, but that's somebody else. Somebody else I like a lot more. Rest in peace, Charlie Murphy. What's his name? I can't think of his name. He was on that show with the two guys and the kid. I don't know. My brain. You have to tell me if you remember what I'm talking about. Oh my goodness. It'll come to me before we're done here. But that's funny. Charlie Murphy really took over my brain there. He was in the Chappelle Show. He's also in a show that was on Comedy Central that is one of my favorite shows ever, which was called Black Jesus. And so let me just get to this reading because I'm just going to sit here and talk about TV shows. Old defunct TV shows. Okay, so we have the Chariot. Number 1. Chariot, whatever is carrying it that way. It looks kind of almost like a leopard of some kind. But I think this is really indicative of that victorious kind of energy. Working so hard, right? Really, really putting your mind to whatever you've been doing. I know it hasn't been easy lately. You've had some struggles, okay? But we're in a place where there's a lot of joy and optimism on the other side of whatever this kind of tower event had been, okay? And I really think that you are not taking any other answer but victory. That's it. That's all you, that is all you will receive, right? So, yeah, and I think it's going swiftly. So I think that the energy that is kind of showing up for you, it feels good, right? To have a kind of exit from those darker, kind of cloudy places that you've been. I think of like an open landscape, like think something like Wyoming, but it's just been so dark, gloomy, you know, heavy clouds that almost look like a, tornado weather, if you know what that looks like. It's almost kind of a green color that comes on, and it has a very ominous feeling. But I think that you are, you've gotten on your chariot, you are working your way right out of there. You're probably on the other side by now, out of that landscape. And I think that, you know, you probably have just an instinct to really be mindful, to tread carefully. Because, you know, so often when the universe aligns with our will, our efforts, it can be very fragile. As far as if we go too far into our ego, if we start to feel like, oh, you know, I made all this happen. I always know the right way. I could, you know, you're some infallible person, although you've just come from, you know, some troubles, right? But that's just, our minds are like that. We forget very quickly, don't we? So there's really a need for humility, I think. And I think you know that instinctually. I think that an Aquarius knows this already. I don't think it's really a big problem for you to be super unrealistic about yourself. And it's not even being unrealistic, right? There's a lot of reasons to give yourself pats on the back, to feel kind of like, you know, a super person. But, you know, we have to remain tempered and humble in a lot of ways because, you know, I think when we feel like nothing more could go wrong, that's exactly when we're dealt another blow. And maybe, you know, either way it will come. But I think when you know, remain in a place that you're not going to fall so far from, it really makes life easier to navigate. Okay. And, you know, I think that anyways, I would assume, because from the Aquarius people I've known, there is a confidence, but it's kind of like a quiet strength. More along the lines of, you know, something like, not stoicism, but, you know, something similar, I think. And so, you know, I think it's wonderful to quietly rejoice in, you know, the knowing that you have this great power, which you do. Okay. But, I do think the energies here tell me that, you know, keeping it in a little bit. Not the happiness, though. Not the happiness. Just, you know, becoming overconfident, I think, is the thing. Okay. And I see it looks like we have... I want to turn this for a second. Okay, so we do have kind of this fertility, this kind of fertility symbol here, seated, kind of a masculine fertility kind of symbol right here. So very rich time. Okay. A lot of potential, energy, that very kind of fiery, creative force makes sense with the Six of Wands. I think that in the seated position, again, it is that place of knowing, when we see these kind of very, the posture is upward, you know, up. We also have that symbol, the phallic symbol. There is a confidence, okay, vitality. And so, I think that it's important to apply these energies to something creative, something within your work, self-work, your career, volunteer work, whatever it is that you have interest in right now. I think that this is definitely a good time to put your efforts into whatever that is. And, you know, I think that I just imagine there's a building, and this is going to link up to the other symbol up here, but just a building. I think when we go through these things that can feel, they take all of the air out of our lives, right? When you go through something sorrowful, traumatic, a loss, a swift change, something maybe that you didn't know was going to happen, a breakup, whatever it is, okay? Environmental things happening. We've, you know, seen a lot of that in these last years. I feel like as you come out of that, there are these moments, these pangs, I think, of great knowing and happiness, and just that it's just so innate to being alive, I think, that we carry with us the ability to make things, to create things, to conceive of things. And I don't care if you're an artist or a builder, a writer, you know, I don't know. It doesn't matter what you do. You don't have to identify as any of these things, but we all carry with us the ability to create. And we do every day. I mean, if you really look at, you go through your day, you do all kinds of things, you know, even cleaning or cooking or, you know, tying your child's shoe. You are creating. Okay. And so, after we've been in kind of that valley of sorrow, of shadows, and you know, and we still, part of us really does always kind of walk through that, but then we come to this place where it's all kind of coming to the surface, all of this energy that's been building up. And we can, you know, I think so often we can decide to put that into anger, right? Frustration, rage. And, you know, that is part of grieving. Whatever it is you're grieving. It doesn't have to be death. It could be, you know, just the end of something else. A change in your season of life, whatever it is. It's natural, and I don't mean to say that it's not. There's nothing wrong with anger as long as we do something with it. We don't harm anybody, not even ourselves, hopefully. But we can also take those energies and put them into, sublimate those energies into something so profound. We have that invitation. And if nobody has said that to you, I'm saying it to you, and I'm giving you the invitation to find something to put it into. Don't let it become, you know, built up to the point where, and here we go, we have this big volcano, and it's sending off little signals that maybe it's gonna go pretty soon, right? And we almost have a person here that looks like they're kind of in a devotional posture. And so we We tend to our volcano and we hope, okay, I hope today's not the day it goes off. I hope today's not the day that I just absolutely lose it. We just do little things to try to smooth it over, to forget about it, to, you know, push it aside, hide it, whatever. That it doesn't help. It does not help. And we wonder, we look at people, we think, you know, something terrible happens in their life. You look at the news, look at the things that people do. Always, not always, but a lot of times people say, I never thought that so-and-so would ever do this. I never thought. They were such a good person. I worked with them for many years. They were always so kind. Well, they were, you know, they were stuffing those feelings down. They were hiding from them. They were hiding them from everybody else. And there were probably, you know, little signs of what was to come. And I'm not saying that, listen, I'm not saying that most people do not go out and hurt other people. But they become destabilized, right? Most of us, we spiral. We might get into addictive behaviors, you know, very depressive states. You know, our life starts to become unmanageable. My big thing for me is the first thing that I see when my life is starting to I know that I'm going to be having some issues I really need to work on here and there, right? Something's going wrong. First, my house starts to get messy beyond just like the regular, you know, we're busy, whatever. I'm not keeping up with my cleaning things, right? And it's always been this way. If I start to notice, okay, it's starting to get worse, I can't remember the last time I mopped, or, you know, it's been like 2 weeks. Now with a kid, it's like, okay, it's been like 3 days. Thankfully, it's been a few years since I've had some kind of episode, but where I'm, you know, getting behind. Now I don't feel like I even have an option, but you know, we start to see signs in our lives, right? Maybe you start spending a lot of money. Maybe your sleep is troubled, right? I mean, it could be anything. You're crying more often. You're not crying at all. You know, you're not feeling anything, maybe. Your body, your mind, your soul is going to give you signs, right? And I just want to say, disclaimer, I am not a professional. I'm not certified for anything. I have no licensing. I am not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist, counselor, anything like that. This is for entertainment, but these are things I want to talk about, okay? And I'm not going to give you any advice except to notice how you're feeling, okay? And so, you know, and you might be thinking, okay, this is supposed to be about victory, doing well. Well, you are doing well. But I want you to also notice when it's kind of even a put on. You know, sometimes we feel like we're doing so amazing. We get so into our ego about it, only to find out that it's just another way of us trying to cope with things that are really painful. And it's very fragile. I want this to be real for you and authentic. So you have to keep that humility, and you need to check in with yourself. And something even I also fairly recently, in the last couple of years, found out about is something called doing a body scan, which is where you just kind of sit quietly. I like to close my eyes, and you just kind of visualize going from the top of your head, like down through your face, down through, you know, where your mouth is, your chin, your throat, all the way down to your tippy toes, right? And you're thinking, how do I feel? What does this feel like? There are a lot of times that, and it's supposed to be grounding, but there are times too that you don't even notice that, like, oh, my jaw hurts. Well, it hurts because I'm, you know, I'm holding it really tight. My shoulders are tight. I'm all, you know, I'm stressed out. But I haven't even thought about it, you know. I'm busy. I don't take the time. I'm huffing. I'm going around the house doing stuff, getting annoyed about things, and I haven't taken the time to figure out what's going on. I need to check in with myself. You know, I'm putting out energies that I don't want to. And so this might be something that you can apply to yourself, even when you're feeling good. But, you know, we want to aim for the middle, I think. You know, being happy is wonderful. Being jovial and exuberant and all these kinds of things, wonderful, definitely. But 100% I will aim for content, satisfied, you know, okay, right, well enough. Hello, Pudgy. And, you know, those are things that I can manage way more than the other things. So, you know, watch out for those emotions. Watch out for how you're really feeling below the surface, okay? But also, by all means, enjoy yourself. I'm not trying to say don't. I also just want to say, we have a bunch of fish in here. And also, we have a little angel right here. There's another fish there. So, there's a lot of abundance. There's peace. And we have a smiley face right there. Look at that. That's so perfect. Even the little nose. I love it. With the angel, you are being looked over, okay? Especially in the physical, whatever's going on domestically, physically, you know, you have guidance, you have somebody looking over you, okay? When you feel like something maybe not right, listen to yourself and listen to that guiding voice, right? That conscious, thing that comes through, you know. We got these cats, they're like balls of something that I don't know, some kind of natural stuff, and they love it, but they would roll them around, and I'm like, what is that sound? I don't know what that is. And then I realized they have these little balls they're playing with. Okay, so if you're hearing that, that's what that sound is. It's like, it sounds like a boulder down there. What are you doing? Okay, so we have the scythe, and I know somebody literally told me yesterday on comments, it's sickle or scythe. Yeah, I forget already. I should pull it up and figure it out. But, so there will be a harvest soon, okay? More abundance. We have all those fish, abundance, longevity, prosperity. We're going towards, you know, happier times, I think. And at least a little less of the pain. And there will be things flowing into your life. You know, I think that resources are there, and you know, you're feeling well enough, and as far as being able to, you know, support your life, your lifestyle, and all these kinds of things, you know, that's such a blessing. I mean, that's beyond, really. if you don't have a ton of things to worry about in that department, okay? So, you know, I also think that with the harvest, I'm just thinking like, well, it could be literal. I mean, if you have a garden or you're growing things. But I also think that it almost feels like you'll be selling some stuff maybe. Maybe like kind of thinning out your home a little bit. Decluttering possibly. Maybe you have some kind of garage sale coming up. But it seems like, you know, you're going to be getting rid of some things. Okay? And then other than that, we have just a beautiful little flower here. And, you know, and so I think that really, if you have a chance, wherever you are, if you're in the northern or southern hemisphere, it should not matter. There's somewhere that has some flowers, even if it's at the grocery store. And they just have them in the little floral section. Go look at some flowers. Go smell some flowers. Go, you know, just look at something pretty. Maybe go see some paintings of flowers. You know, whatever it is. They seem to be calling out to you. And I fully support going and indulging in some of those beautiful, beautiful things. All right, so we have, and I forgot to show you, the Wild Bohemian Affirmation cards. Okay, fire element this week. We're going to go ahead and just kind of pick. And it says, I am divine truth. Worlds are born of your wild and courageous heart. Your essence is creation. Yeah. I like it. Maybe I was wrong. Don't temper yourself. Go out there and make some different worlds, landscapes, universes. No, I think that these two things go hand in hand, okay? I think that oftentimes when we live quietly in our bodies, right, in our environments, our interior lives are unimaginable. You know, and you see this with a lot of different kinds of religious practitioners, holy people, spiritually inclined people, occultists, whatever. You might read their writings, see their artwork, hear their lectures, and you think, wow, this person is so interesting. They must have such a, you know, busy, interesting, wild, eccentric life. And then you come in contact with them, or you get a glimpse of their life, and you realize this is like, you know, they're living like I imagine Mr. Rogers maybe lives, you know. But I think that's because there's so much emphasis on that interior landscape, those interior mansions. Our physical world is where we do the work to upkeep our bodies, our, you know, sacred spaces, our homes, our temples, and to be of service to our communities. And then, you know, we kind of go through that sacred portal into our interior place, and that's where a lot of the real work happens. At least that's how I perceive it anyways. So, anyhow, I want to thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you'd be so kind as to like the video, it helps us get into the algorithm, and the algorithm kind of decides how everything goes here. So we like to give it whatever engagement we can. So liking the video helps, sharing the videos on other social media platforms, watching the readings from the beginning to the end. And if you have not subscribed, please think about doing so. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. And if you want to leave a comment, please do. I read every single one of them, and I reply back to every single one of them. So sometimes it takes me a day or two, and I was a little behind because there are so many beautiful birthday wishes, which I am so thankful for. And just really very touching, and I appreciate. But I'm getting caught up. I'm almost there. And so please do leave a comment. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know what's going on in your world. Let me know how these readings are resonating with you. Okay? All right. I thank you, and we will talk again real soon.